Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk to you about using our new 700 bolt tool. Now, a lot of you aren't sure necessarily how to take care of a bolt in a rifle. I've got a barreled action here, first barreled actions I ever competed with, but this is a Remington 700. I want to go over cleaning your bolt, maintaining your bolt, and of course utilizing our new tool to do that. Now this is one of the first barreled actions that I shot with. This was chambered in 260, but I want to go over how to maintain your bolt. Now this is a big thing if you compete a lot, if it gets dirty, if it gets wet, different things like that. Now our tool will work on most 700 platforms, but I'm going to show you how real quickly to maintain a 700 bolt. Now this is just a standard bolt, like I said. I'm going to utilize our all-in-one kit because all I really need is the T-handle. Now you can also go on the site and add this to any kit that you already have. So if you've already got a kit and you want to add this, just go check it out and add it by itself. But what we're going to talk about today is maintaining the interior, the inside of this. Now it gets dirty. You get your firing pin down in here, water, grime, different things can get down in here. And this is one of the big things is as it moves back and forth, we need to make sure that it's making sure that it works correctly. So I'm just going to go in and pull back on the firing pin to release the pressure. And as I pull back on the firing pin, we're just going to rotate it past. And once you get it far enough out, you can usually just take it and spin it the rest of the way out. Now I try to maintain mine every few times I clean it, or depending on how dirty it's got, or rain, or different things like that, I go through and do it. Now I'm going to go over a couple things that I use to clean it. First is brake cleaner. Now brake cleaner doesn't leave residue, it cleans it out when it dries. It's cheap, you can find it in any auto parts store. Brake cleaner is one of those things I use a lot. Rem oil, I use a certain kind of oil to hopefully keep it from rusting over time. And of course bolt grease. I use bolt grease a lot. You can get them from Brownells or different places in this syringe looking thing so that you can apply it. Now first off, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set a rag down and I'm going to use my brake cleaner, and I'm just going to really clean the inside of this out really good. You can see it's pretty dirty down in there. Of course, you get a lot of grime and dirt and different things in here. Now one thing I like to do is just kind of clean the face of the bolt out. Make sure there's nothing in there that's going to mess with your extraction or your ejection. I'm just going to kind of hurry and wipe all that off, and of course dry it out. Now again, brake cleaner dry, so you don't have to be too crazy on this, just blow it out really good. I look down it to make sure. I've had times on really hot loads or something happens, a piece of primer gets in here, which hopefully you never get to see, but it happens. So just make sure, I always kind of tap it, make sure there's nothing in there, and that's pretty much done. Next, I'm going to go over to the firing pin assembly itself, and I'm just going to wipe it off a little bit. You can see how dirty it is. I'm just going to go through and clean this too. Looks like I need some more brake cleaner. It's about out, but we'll wipe all this down really good, clean it off, and make sure that everything's good. I'm gonna make sure the spring still works good, everything looks good, all the pins are in correctly. Just kind of do a once over, look at the end of my firing pin to make sure it's not broke or damaged, because that is going to be a problem, especially if you're going out hunting or you're going out competing and you got a broken firing pin. It sucks. I've had it happen. So I'm just going to check everything out here. Next, I'm going to take my Rem oil and I'm just going to spray the spring itself. Now I don't want to leave this oil on here, because what happens is dirt and dust and everything gets in here, it builds up and it makes it a pain. So what I do is I just spray it, I let it sit for a minute. I'll get down here on the end, hopefully, you know, it soaks in a little bit, and then I'll just wipe it down with the rag, make sure it's good. It helps lubricate underneath, makes it all nice and shiny. Next, your bolt constantly rotates on these screws as it goes back and forth. So what I like to do is take a little bit of my bolt grease and just add a little bit, and then what I do is I just take my finger and spread it around. This helps keep it from rusting, helps keep debris out of it. And this you can leave because it is threaded down in the portion, and usually you don't have too many issues. I don't like to use a whole lot, I just like to use a teeny bit and get it all over that. Now, we've kind of looked over everything. The ejector looks good, the extractor looks good. I like to test it a little bit. You can take your firing pin, just make sure that your ejector is springing, everything looks good. And then I'm just gonna start threading this bad boy back together. Now I am having a little bit of issue because I put a giant bolt knob on this, so you can just rotate it past. Most of them are not going to have this issue just because I put this on, but then now I'm just going to rotate it into the cocking place, and now it's all back together. Last but not least, one of the most important things that you need to do on your bolt is check the lugs. Now I'll just make sure they're clean, there's nothing on the back of them, because this is what runs inside the action. Now I'm going to take a little teeny bit of bolt grease, put it on the back of both these lugs, spread it out a little bit, put it on the lug themselves, and now you're ready to rock. Now you can go back through, I don't have a trigger in this because this is going to go out to get re-barreled, but you can check your trigger, you know, run it a few times, make sure everything feels good, and now you've maintained your bolt. It's a very quick process that you can do in a matter of minutes, like I just did. Just get this stuff. Like I said, you can find most of it online, or, you know, like the AutoZone stuff, you can go to a hardware store, but go check it out. Again, you can get this and add it to any kit that you've got. It's a great piece of kit. If you're ever out in the field, something goes down, dirt gets in there, you need to adjust it. There's been times where I've been out shooting and I've had to use this on other people's bolts, so it's a nice thing to have. Go check it out on the website, and if you've used it, let us know what you think. Thanks for watching, everybody.